You don't remember that much from your teenage years?
Well, you see a lot of stuff from my upbringing. In my early, like, I can tell you a little, but by the time I was a teenager, by the time I had my own business when I was 12. I had all these very wealthy people, including the president and CEO of United Airlines, who before that was Westin Hotel. And so I took care of his yard. I had eight or nine customers that I took care of their yards, and so I had a full-time summer job. And then and I also had the church. I took care of the church. Well, when about 15 and a half, they turned the sexton work over to me. So I had not only the outside of the building, I got the sexton work, which was $500 a month. Well, I just couldn't. I wanted to get out of the gardening business, and I got a job with Weston through the guy I knew, through my dad, who knew this guy. And I just started washing dishes. So I washed dishes Friday night, Saturday night, and then I had to be back in on Sunday morning. And we all stayed, we worked till 2 or 3 in the morning, or till at least, well, we got out as soon as we could. We'd go eat pizza, and then I'd get home, get about 4 hours sleep, and I'd be back to work. So I worked 3 days a week, and then I still took care of the church. I had one of the guys, a friend of mine, I used to have him come. I turned the gardening business over to my next door neighbor who took care of it. He'd been working with me, and I ended up turning the business over to him, and it all worked out real well.
That's cool.
And so the only thing I kept was the church. You had to go and clean the church once a week and set up for special things. Anything above and beyond is extra, but washing the floors, waxing the floors, making sure the pews were. Well, we didn't have pews in those days. Those days we had chairs, so sometimes you had to reset the entire, congregation. In those days we had a lot of parishioners too. We had over 400 families. That's a lot of people between the two churches.
Yeah.
I doubt they have that now. I think they got about 200. With that, I was pretty tame.
You weren't that crazy when you were a teen?
I mean, I did stupid stuff. When
did you go to that crazy strip club that you were telling me about that was really sweet?
When I was working downtown, but, I don't know, I had some phony ID, but, when I used to go into the clubs downtown, they never questioned us. There were a couple of places I'd been in where I got warned to get out of the bar because liquor control board was there, but I never got busted. Somebody looked at my ID, they'd say, no, I don't take it, and we walked out. But we did have one bar that was like just down the street from the church that we used to hang out at and play pool. Most of the taverns, you see, we don't have a lot of taverns here, but there's a lot of taverns in Seattle, and a lot of them turned into card houses because they can play cards, not poker. Okay, they could play. There's no wild cards. You play 5-card draw. Just standard poker games, not wild games. You can go bet, and there's limits, and I'm not quite sure. It's pretty well controlled by the liquor control board.